Hello and welcome to another episode of the Contractor Grow Show. My name is Mark Lamberth, and today I am really excited to talk with a great craftsman, Anup Patel at P&G Glass in National City, California. Anup, thank you so much for being with us today.
It's a pleasure being with you too on a beautiful morning.
Yes, it is a beautiful morning over here in Colorado as well. So we have really looked at the work that you guys do. And as I say, you guys really bring just an incredible level of craft to the glass work that you guys do and some of the other aspects. You've got a big workshop. You guys do things in-house. I'm really excited to hear your story and kind of what you guys are up to today. Maybe you can just tell us a little bit about how you got into this and where the business is at right now.
Okay, so I started in construction when I was only 16. I'm a high school dropout. But,
Okay.
I decided that I saw it, fell in love with it, started working with a contractor part-time. And all I was doing was a labor force. I was just picking up wood, sometimes doing some painting, sometimes moving stuff around for him. And basically a young kid just trying to make something, right? And that's basically where I started. And after that, I started making jewelry.
Interesting.
Found a niche making jewelry because there was a demand in the market for quality jewelry that nobody was producing. So I saw a niche and started doing that, and it expanded pretty quick. In 2 years, I had 18 people working for me.
Wow.
And 23 years old at that time. So it was pretty crazy. At least I had my dad helping me. He had a jewelry shop at that time. So he was a big part of helping me, make sure things were running right. I mean, he started the jewelry business when he was pretty young too. So he had that experience to help me make what I was doing. Still was doing construction on the side, building apartment complexes and stuff like that. Then I moved to the US in 2008. So I didn't know what I was going to do for 2 years. I was just sitting, just doing small little odd jobs here and there, and saw a niche where there were so many dilapidated hotels after that crash. When I say dilapidated, it was in bad condition, and thought that, hey, economy is going to have to pick up. It's starting to pick up a little bit. Let me see what I can do here. Starting to pick up a little bit. Bought a first hotel. Didn't have the cash to renovate it, but was able to clean it up at least. So we cleaned it up, got it, looked really good, new coat of paint, cleaned as much as we could, and made it look nice. Customers started coming in, there was a revenue started to come in, and was able, so the same bank that mortgaged it saw the numbers and say, hey, yeah, we would give you the money to renovate this place since, you're doing well. They did that. I did my first flip, completed in 2014 on that same hotel that I bought, and then did another flip and then a third one. And in 2018, I was tired of it. It was too much of the same thing over and over. Me as a person, I wanted to do something new all the time. And that same thing over and over, same grind. Flipping a room was the same copy and paste all the way down. So it was nothing new.
Uh-huh.
That's when I started getting into the glass business.
Amazing.
Niche again, where, custom glass. So a lot of people say, hey, we do custom glass. And beautiful, they do really good work. And I bring a little more unique perspective to that custom glass, where it's not just custom glass. We do everything that goes around the glass too. So be able to machine hardware, machine different parts, or 3D print, or whatever we may need to do to accomplish goals that the client have. And these start off as just an idea in somebody's head, right? And architect doesn't know how to do this, engineers doesn't know how to do this, but when me, the engineer and the architect get together, we figure out a plan. And it starts with just a drawing in a napkin, and then, some more detailed drawing and more detailed drawings. And we end up coming up with a plan. And then we normally, when it's complicated, we will do mock-ups in the shop here, or we'll do mock-up on site. One of the projects we finished at the beginning of this year, the client didn't want to see drains in their terrazzo floor because it was a beautiful terrazzo floor. The stones were shipped in from Morocco. So, he was spending a lot of money on the terrazzo floor, and he didn't want to see a drain in the middle of his terrazzo floor. So it wasn't a deck, it was all concreted deck around the pool. So, well, how do you get rid of the water? And next thing, he didn't want us to put glass in where you can see all the hardware. So we had to hide all the hardware too. So basically, we figured out that, hey, we'll do a face mount, but when we do the face mount, we're going to encase that with the terrazzo too and create drain channels right next to the glass where the water can go into. And it's only 1/2 inch wide drain channel right next to the glass, so you can barely see it. But then you have electrical where the LED lights were getting mounted for the pool on that portion there. So you had drain, plumbing, electrical, and terrazzo, and glass, and the hardware coming together in one place. So we did a mock-up. I dropped off the mock-up with the portion that I had to do, which all the hardware, the glass, the finishing around the glass. The guy came in, the electrician came in, the plumber came in, and they did their part. And we had to change a few things in between, but, we figured it out, and then we actually did the job to complete it.
Amazing. So, we've talked about your numbers a little bit. You guys are sort of between, say, 1.2, 1.4, and $1.8 million in sales.
Right.
I've taken a look at you guys' projects. Glass railings, shower enclosures, retractable screens, frameless patio doors. And in Southern California, these are really high-end projects. And I get the sense that it's a relatively, I'm taking creative license here, but a relatively smallish amount of projects because of how high-end they are.
Very right. We're not only to South California. So I've gone as far, the furthest I've gone is Hot Spring, Minnesota.
Oh, amazing.
So we have done a lot of projects around the Austin area, Lake Travis area. We have done a few projects in Houston.
Wow.
So it's Dallas to even Idaho, Montana. So we've done projects in multiple places. It's wherever the client calls from and wants a certain thing done, we go.
Amazing. Well, so even more so, you guys are flying your crew out, you're shipping your incredible product out. One question that I wanted to ask you is, we talk with a lot of builders and we love to coach them towards working on higher end projects. A lot of really good things happen over there. They tend to be more profitable. The clients are easier to work with. In many cases, it's more fun and more creative. When you're doing high-end projects like this and you're flying out and you're talking with elite customers, if you will, folks that can afford your services, and you guys are doing this incredible work, is there a certain way that a certain sort of demeanor and a certain tone that you have to have with clients that have this really high expectation? What are some things that come up when you're working with very successful clients themselves who've got a very keen eye for design? What's that conversation like, and what are some elements that you have to kind of put in there as you're working with them?
Some of these clients I found, they've been very good people. They're just normal people like me and you, like those people that, yes, they have the eye for these quality jobs that they want, but it's very easy to talk to them about the project and what's coming up in the project. And they are very understanding that, hey, we are limited to what materials can do to. So we may be able to get you to 70 or 80% of your idea. We might be able to get you to 100. And most of the time that happens with me. Like they want something that is just impossible, like glass or metal or aluminum or whatever materials we're using can't accomplish those things. and they're very understanding. At least they got 70% or 80% of their idea that they wanted.
I see. Okay.
Time is what most of the time they're very keen about. And once you are open with them and you keep them updated, it keeps things flowing nice with them. Once we don't communicate with them, that's when they intend to get a little upset with us.
I see. So a lot of communication, a little maybe high touch, and being very responsive very quickly is a key piece of working with these types of clients.
I try
Beautiful.
to email these clients back within, my average is about 2-3 hours within the email coming in. Now, if I'm in my shop, I may not send that email out to them, right? But Tammy, she's in the office. So as I said, like, this is my office. Tammy is my right hand. She would say, hey, Anup, this client sent you an email. This is what they're saying. And she would print it out, show me it, and I'll tell her. And quickly we'll write something right there, and she would email it back to the client, right? Because she knows that I don't want to come in the office to just send out an email, because the head is in the shop at that time with whatever I'm doing and the technical work I'm doing. So she tries to leave me to do my thing, and she will respond back to me on my behalf.
I love it. And that's an amazing lesson. So, if you're listening to this, what Anup is saying is that he's very busy. He's in the shop. He is focused on this very creative work that he's supervising and executing himself. But that doesn't stop him from responding back, whether it's himself or someone on his team, Tammy, that is on it and responding back quickly. And we talk with folks about that a lot, because it's very easy for contractors to get very busy. They're doing work out in the field, and they think, well, I get back to that tomorrow. People who are emailing and calling, they're the most important person in their life, and they want to hear back from you immediately. So I think that's a key.
And we would sometimes even have to respond, hey, we understand the situation. Let me look into this a little bit more. I may have to talk to my supplier or somebody to get more detail on it. And basically we're just sending him an email saying, hey, we're checking on it. We'll update you as soon as possible, right?
I love it. So you guys have got a 6,000 square foot shop. I mean, you've got your own 3D printer. You guys do welding in-house. You guys do woodworking, aluminum work for all your contracts. Right. How has it been helpful to have everything in-house? We've seen sometimes when folks are subbing out different projects like this, there's actually a lot of logistics that needs to happen for that. I mean, you guys can do everything under one roof. Why have you invested a lot of money to put together your own welding shop, 3D printer? How has that been helpful for you guys to execute and to really knock out these high-end projects?
So let me put it like this. This was the kid inside of me. This shop is basically the kid inside of me, right? I wish I had a shop like this when I was younger, right? Because I used to be tinkering in the garage, always trying to, hey, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. So this shop was put together for me and tinkering on the side. So I still make furniture on the side. I still do make, like, all my furniture owned by me. A majority of my furniture I made myself, right? So I was tinkering on the side. That's why the shop got put together. I added a lot of the stuff that I had in my garage into the shop, right? And by adding that stuff, then I realized that, hey, we don't have to send out. So like this week, we're doing a top cap with a bar top on top of glass railing that overlooks the San Diego Bay. So teak is a very expensive wood to work with. But we were able to do all that woodworking in the shop here, right?
Amazing.
Because we have to install it on the glass, it had to be built in a certain way. There's certain things that you may not foresee because you're not attaching it to the deck, you're attaching it to the glass itself. So
I see.
By doing it here, I have spare glass that I can mock it up with, get everything, make sure it works for everything right. Because there's also LEDs built into this wood. So the teak has LEDs built into it that goes on the glass.
I see.
Lights up all the glass, and it creates a really nice ambient in the deck.
Man, I believe it. And I saw that you're very proud when you were talking with Haley that like 60 to 80% of clients that you work with, they become friends afterwards. We've really realized as we've done this podcast and as we've developed our own career, how important kind of relationship is. But that was a comment that you had made. I'm curious, how do you move these relationships? What are qualities that you meet a client? Maybe you guys talk on the phone or maybe spend some time together. How does that happen? And how has that kind of affected the business and also maybe even your personal life, your sort of friend group?
So it starts from the beginning, like from the first time we meet. I never talk business as soon as we meet, talking to my clients about the day you got a beautiful picture of your wife and kids there. You took that on the beach, or where did you take that? It starts talking about the family. And then once you get them to talk about the family a little bit, because once they have pictures out, right, their house or wherever they are, you can kind of see. Now, I wouldn't call it, maybe some people might say it's stalking, but I normally would, if I meet a client, I would look at their Facebook page or their Instagram page. Some clients don't have anything on there, and that's fine. But it kind of gives you an idea of who this person is. Normally, you can find some mutual link between that, right? Where, like, or the client that we're working with this week, he sails, I sail too, right? We're both sailors, and we can talk about sailing and stuff. He has 2 kids, I have 2 kids. Fortunately, it's in Point Loma where I live, where my kids grew up too. So immediately the wife jumped in and like, hey, where did your kids go to school? Because their kids are 2 and 4. So they're trying to figure out, which school to go to and all that stuff. And I was telling them about, the PTA and how I was a part of PTA. My wife was a part of the PTA too. And we did this and we did that in the PTA. And so we talked about life before we even talked about the project, right?
Gotcha.
And they kind of understood that, hey, I kind of understood exactly what they wanted out of renovating their house too, because everybody wants something different, and they wanted a wow factor when they walked on the deck. That's what they want. So they always had this idea about, hey, yeah, let's do a glass railing. And they still keep on seeing pictures of glass railings, right? But you could tell that they wanted a wow factor, but they didn't say that they wanted the wow factor. They were saying, but this looks common to everybody else in the area, right? I let the juices flow that, hey, we can do this, we can do this. And then the husband said, I would love to drink a beer out here with my friend. Like, okay, why don't we just put a bar top right on the edge of the glass railing overlooking the bay itself? It's only 12 inches wide, a teak finished bar top where you can put your beer down and you can put some bar stools right there and enjoy the view while you have a few beers. It's like,
Amazing.
yeah, let's do that. And I realized that they didn't have any lights out there, like shining down on the deck itself. So I told them, hey, how about some ambient lighting in the glass railings? It'll be all hidden away in the wood, right? It'll just be lit up through the glass itself. And the wife was like, yeah, that's what I want. Well, instead of just doing white, she wanted to just do white colors. I told her, well, how we do? Let's do an RGB, and for Christmas or Halloween or whatever, you can program it to show whatever colors you want. So, you get for Christmas the red, white, and green, or for Halloween or for whatever. So you can get whatever colors you want. And, instead of you putting up lights, you have this that's showing off the little colors. So the wife was bought immediately after that. So it's not that I'm selling them. I'm getting to know the client and what they may want before actually selling them the product.
Amazing. Guys, there's a lot of pro tips in here, what Anup is talking about. And so, there's many things, and I agree 100% with everything that he's saying. This is a very successful craftsman who does incredible work, has made some inventions on his own, some very specific, beautiful work. You should take a look at his website that I'll give you here in a little bit, of just photos of the amazing work. And you can really get a sense of that. Architectural design accolades, mentioned in important publications. And the way that Anup starts a conversation with someone is talking about sort of their life and their family. And he's actually even doing some research about them personally before he goes and meets with them. And so for this amazing project here of doing some really high-end work on Point Loma, looking out probably at the ocean, it's a beautiful spot.
It's looking out at the bay and the airport and downtown.
Incredible.
So one of the best views you can find in San Diego is where this guy is located.
Amazing. And I've spent a lot of time right there sailing in that bay myself. And so to begin this project, he's not going in and saying, what do you want to see here? It's more like, how do you guys live? Like, what are your aspirations? And it maybe even took a little bit of time of talking. And the owner said, I just want to stand out here and have a beer with somebody. Like, okay, perfect. Here's how we do that. Because folks don't want necessarily a glass wall. They want a beer with their friends and seeing a beautiful view through this amazing work that Anup is doing. So I just really love the focus on that, of learning who these folks are. And I could see how after you're doing work with them and you guys have had this deeper understanding of each other, that then you're going on to call these people your clients' friends. And I imagine getting invited over to parties to come have a beer on their deck here and there.
Yeah, it does happen pretty often. My Christmas gets booked up really tight, man.
I'll bet. Amazing.
Like I'm supposed to be for Christmas. We did a winery in Hillsburg, California, and Sonoma County there, and we did all the glass railings and the nice glass doors and all of that stuff. And Brian emailed me. He says, "Hey, you got to come for the Christmas party."
You got to fit it in with all the other Christmas parties you get.
Yeah, because he wants me to be there. Right, man. But it happens again. Brian wants me to be there because, like, every time we meet, we always end up starting talking about stuff, nothing to do with construction. We end up talking about stuff. So he's really interested in, like, technology and how you can decipher what's happening at what point in time, and you can always see a line that's creating that what's going on in technology. So I love technology too. So I get a lot of feedback from him saying that they're doing this and they're doing this, and this is where AI is going. And it creates a really nice conversation. We became closer because of that.
So, I mean, you've got a big shop, you've got a big operation, a lot of moving parts, but we noticed that you also, you've got a family, and that you guys love to get away and do some really fun kind of water sports with your family, some other really fun stuff. Would you be willing to tell me just a little bit about the balance of sort of, there's the work piece, but then there's like having fun with your family and making sure that you guys get away, keep the family strong. How did these fun activities, water sports, whether it's rafting, sailing, how do these fit in with the busy schedule that you have, of all the other projects you're working on?
Sailing is pretty easy because, I live in San Diego, so right on Oklahoma, so it's pretty easy to go sailing. The kids, only my nephew and my daughter like sailing. My youngest son, he just gets on the boat and, he eats his food and he's just hanging out. He grew up here since he was 2 years old. So he's the one that doesn't understand the benefits of living. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get him going to Sunset View, what it was to look out at the bay from any one of the rooms in the school every day, right? So he just doesn't get it. My daughter and my nephew that lives with me, they both get it. Like, he grew up in Panama, right? So he gets to go out on the bay and spend the time. He takes full advantage of it, right? My wife, she'll just lie on the deck and take a nap. Yeah, she a glass of wine. Once she's got 2 glasses of wine, she just has 7.
I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
What else do? We do skiing. We all snowboard. So we all love to go snowboarding. Road trips are one of our favorite things to do, but with no plans. We just say that, hey, we're going to Idaho. Okay, let's go to Idaho.
Fun.
While we getting there, we'll say, hey, let's stay here. Let's do that here. And I remember there was a time that we left and we didn't come back for about 2 weeks, and we made it. We drove from here all the way up to Montana. We were just going to different places. Zion National Park, we went to Yellowstone, we went On the opposite center, Yellowstone, we went water rafting. We did so much stuff in that 2 weeks, and there was no plan. We just, all five of us jumped in the car and we went. Right?
Wow. Amazing. How fun. Well, fantastic. Well, Anup, what a great interview and just so great to talk with you and hear about what you guys are up to. I love talking with serious craftsmen. I kind of a craftsman background myself. I built a lot of houses, but was always really focused on, kind of higher end woodwork. And it just really warms my heart to talk with someone who's got a really keen eye for design and doing amazing work out in the community. I would love to sit down with you at some point and talk more. We'd love to have you on the podcast at some point in the future, hear how your next year is going. Let me just ask this, just maybe last question regarding kind of you guys 2026. Do you have any plans? Do you have any kind of goals or of what you guys are wanting to get more into or any kind of milestones you're hoping to hit with the business with P&G?
So one of the things we said we wanted to try out was the high-end shops in the mall. We are bidding on a project right now for one of these high-end. So UTC Mall is opening what I think they'll call it a gallery area where they're all these like Louis Vuitton and Prada's and Chanel and all of these shops. So one of the projects I'm bidding on, and we're trying to attempt that. We have never done it before, but there's a lot of custom stuff where all the glass is custom, all the aluminum has to be this particular color of a pink anodized, and the glass has to be a specific color of bronze color.
Okay, fantastic.
We know we'll get it done, but I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it as much as I want to or not.
Could that be more the commercial space? You guys are mostly focused on residential these days.
So 90% of my job is residential.
Uh-huh.
About 10% is commercial. Like one of the jobs we did in Houston was for the Set Brothers. This guy just put up a building and he was figuring it out after.
Uh-huh.
It's so crazy to me. He's in real estate and his whole idea was to bring everybody under one roof, like the title company, the inspection company, the mortgage company, finance companies, all of them under one roof. So if you're buying a house, you're buying, selling, whatever you're doing, it's under one roof.
I see. Uh-huh.
The idea was pretty good. So yeah, we got together. He wanted to create that party space where he could do events and do parties. And that's where we did all the glass doors for him, the frameless glass doors. And then we were having dinner one day and I told him, so he was trying to figure out what to do on the third floor. Third floor was bare. There was nothing there, just an empty floor. And he said, I don't know what to do here, Anup. And I said, well, hey, I saw this video a while back of life-size blueprints where projectors are projecting life-size blueprints on the floor. And you have styrofoam table and chairs and beds and stuff, and you can move it around. You can kind of walk through the house because the blueprint is actual size on the ground.
Uh-huh.
And he went with it. He figured out the technology behind it, and then he got the guys to come and put up all the projectors and all of that. And he has that service now there.
I see. No kidding. Wow.
Architects will bring their clients there now. And this is just over dinner. We were just talking and trying to figure out a way, well, what do you think we should do about this?
Oh, man. How fun.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Anup, if folks are, you guys work outside of just Southern California area. You guys work, it sounds like, around the country. If folks are looking for some really high-end glass work, frameless patio doors, wine enclosures, glass railings with no edges around it, containing it, just architectural grade, beautiful glass work. What are a couple of good ways for folks to get in touch with you guys?
So the pngglass.com and my email, anup@pngglass.com. And my phone number is on the website too. 909-215-6444. All my clients has my numbers. Anybody can reach me at any time.
Well, fantastic. Well, Anup, again, thank you so much for taking your valuable time to being here with us today. And I think folks have really learned a lot. And we would love to have you on again at some point in the future.
I would look forward to it.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, have a great day. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks.